Okay. All right, we're live here at the Walk-Ons in Trussville. He's Lance Taylor. I'm Ryan Brett. We're going to be with you for about an hour right now. A little specialty show from Trussville. You can ask us anything. A couple of sports things we'll talk about. We are out here with our friends, the Indy Grand Prix of Alabama. They're doing
what's the QR code for?
Day. Well, it's a give back day. You scan the QR code here at Walk-Ons at Trussville.
The first thing I noticed about the car when we pulled up was you and I could not fit in that
Not
thing.
at all.
So you've got to be small to be a driver.
You do. I mean, I think we've interviewed like that. The New Garden guy always sticks with me. It was such a fun interview, but he didn't seem like he was fighting.
He didn't seem he was tiny. I'll tell you who was the tiniest, and I don't think you were with me, but I interviewed Kyle Larson, who just won last week,
I remember that, yeah.
You could put Kyle Larson in your pocket.
Yeah.
I mean, he was, I would say Kyle Larson's 5'7", 130 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, Danica Patrick was really small, too. Remember her, right? I mean, she was like that big around. No, but you scan the QR code, and 10% of the proceeds go directly to Children's of Alabama. So you can eat here at Walk-Ons Trussville and give back while you're eating.
And cold beer.
That's right. What you got right there?
I've got a tall 22-ounce Stella. I showed up, and they've got a really good happy hour going. I was going to ask you a couple of questions. We got a question of the day that I think went out on Facebook, right?
I believe so. I haven't checked, but
I'm going to ask you that question.
Okay.
But I was also going to ask you this, because getting out of my car this morning, there's something, spring is probably... if I'm voting seasons, I go fall, summer, spring, winter last.
Okay.
But there is something about the beginning of spring.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you get that initial nip in the air and you're like, football season is in full effect. Leaves are about to fall. I can start making chili. This is a good time of year. There's something about coming out of the terrible weather, seeing the azaleas, and I don't know what's better, like the initial burst of spring or that initial burst of fall.
I like spring. That's a good question.
I do like the entirety of fall better, but I'm just talking about that first moment.
I like that time of spring we get when the pollen has finally died, and it hasn't gotten oppressively hot yet.
You've got a screened-in porch, right?
I've got a screened-in porch.
What do you do about the pollen?
I'm about once, probably mid-March or so, I take the hose and wash it all out.
That's what I do. I wait until... I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I've done it.
I'll do it in the next couple of weeks.
I take the hose and I wash it all out the back and then just hit it with a blower as much as I can. And that normally takes care of it.
Yeah.
But by the end of spring, you got to give it a good wash, get everything, rinsed. We got a bed swing out there. So you really can't have, like my wife's got all bed swing stuff inside. Because you're just going to get covered every day. There's nothing to do about it.
And you're a guy that you deal with allergies, right?
Oh, yeah. Like not crazy, but a lot of pollen will get me.
I'm a Tuesday Protector guy right now.
Yeah.
I even thought about doing a third. I don't know how bad that is. Is it one of those?
I don't know what they prescribe.
Might end up in the pit. By the way, three different times, and I'm still not done with episode 1. But I kind of like it. I just haven't really. I don't know. It's not a priority.
My wife's watching it. I watched the second episode. I was aware she had the first episode on, but I didn't stop and watch it. But I watched the second episode.
My ADD is going to show up because I'm going to be all over the place. But like Noah Wiley.
I thought you were about to talk about that woman walking across the street.
No, Noah Wiley is a really good actor.
But what else has he done?
That's what I was going to say. It was like ER, we're going to take 20 years off, and then we're going to put you in the pit.
I mean,
can he only do medical dramas?
I told my wife, I said, so basically Noah Wiley only plays a doctor that's fighting demons. I mean, that's his 2 roles, right? And did you watch ER?
No.
So ER, he was the young hotshot doctor that came in.
Probably saw 5, maybe 10 episodes. Yeah. So George Clooney was kind of the guy. Right. Eric LaSalle. I mean, that was a big ensemble cast.
But George, because you had Goose. What's his name?
Anthony Edwards.
Eric LaSalle was big then. George Clooney.
All the chicks outside of the Indian Girl kind of looked alike.
Yeah, you had Juliana Margulies was in there.
Yeah, Cherry Stringfield.
Was in there. Who else is in there? Oh, the blonde. I can't remember her name. But, I mean, you're right, it was kind of an ensemble cast. But when Noah Wiley came on, he's a young hotshot doctor that comes in. They end up having to do an intervention because he's using some of the narcotics there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the storylines. So, I mean, that's basically the character he's playing in this, is just this guy that's fighting these mental demons.
But, a couple of things that I think make good actors. Obviously, your emotional range and how comfortable you are. He is very comfortable, and he's got a really good emotional range. So I don't know, how you can't find this guy more work.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Unless he just doesn't want to. I mean, maybe, he had one of those Friends-like deals with ER, I never see ER in syndication though, so I don't know like what kind of residuals they're getting from that because where do you even find ER? And I'm surprised ER.
It's got to be streaming somewhere.
I'm going to make this prediction right here. ER is going to make a comeback on the backside of the pit.
So you think they'll redo it?
I don't think they'll redo it. I just think they'll bring it back to like Netflix.
So maybe. Oh, okay. That's what you're saying. So because I don't know where you find it streaming.
And there's probably a market for it, right?
I would guess. I mean, it was a pretty good show, and then people would see a young George Clooney. God, I saw an interview with George Clooney. Number one, he's coloring his hair now, and it looks absurd. Like
really?
Yes.
Because I watched The Descendants when I was in Hawaii, just because I wanted to see some of the islands.
Yeah.
And he was completely gray in that role.
So I saw him doing interviews, coloring his hair, and it's
Was
obvious
it for a
color.
role though?
Could be. And boy, his face looks old. He's lost he looks like almost Ozempic face, the O face we talked about, but not quite. Steven says it gets better. Why did that not show up? I was trying to show Steven's thing. Oh, there it is. It gets better as it goes, Steven says.
The Pit.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna finish it. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Like somebody just got their leg sawed off. You saw that one, right?
No.
Yeah, the first episode, like the
I didn't watch the first.
caught.
I watched the second one.
Wait, why would you skip the first episode?
Because my wife had already watched the first one, and she was watching the second one. So I was just like, well, I'll jump into this.
I'm not giving away too much. There's like medical disaster after medical disaster, but somebody gets their foot cut off.
Yeah, that's
pretty
the
graphic.
one. That is pretty graphic. Because Jennifer even said, I don't think you would have, because I can't handle that kind of stuff. She's like, I don't think you could have watched the first one anyway.
It wasn't that bad.
The second one was just kind of, the second one, they had a pretty interesting ethical debate in it. So the guy that's got pneumonia, and he's got a DNR, and
the guy from the
old guy, he's got pneumonia, and his
came in from the retirement home,
and his two kids are in there, right?
Okay,
and they're arguing about it.
I haven't gotten to this yet.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I thought you said you'd watch the second one.
No, I've only seen. I haven't finished the first one. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I got you.
I've got I think 11 minutes left of the first one, and I've taken it on 3 times.
Yeah. All right, well, I mean, this is not going to ruin anything because I can't even remember how it turned out.
No, I remember when they sent him in, they were like, he's got a DNR. Don't worry about it.
So he's got pneumonia and he's got a DNR. And his kids come in and they're like, he does not want to be kept alive on a resuscitator. But he's got pneumonia. And they're like, well, we could potentially cure the pneumonia, but we're going to have him on oxygen to do it. And he asked Noah Wiley, he's like, well, what are the odds? He goes, well, they're not 100%, but I think we can fix him. But then you've got him on a resuscitator. So if it goes bad, now he's tubed and he's on a resuscitator, which he does not want.
Yeah, but you just pull it if it doesn't work.
Well, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
But the family,
I think common sense comes into play here. Look, we're going to try to fix him. If we can't get rid of the pneumonia and still has to be, on this, what am I looking for? Oxygen, then we're going to pull the plug.
On the ventilator. Ventilator, thank you. Ventilator. What was your favorite, 80s or 90s TV show? ER was huge. ER was part of Thursday night because you
were going to be shocked by this, but true story, I didn't watch TV back in the day.
Really?
I only watched sports, and I went out so much. I mean, that's so bad, but literally I was going out every night. So I just didn't have TV time.
That I'm not shocked about.
Yeah, but I will tell you this, as much as I enjoyed going out, I enjoy on my couch with a glass of wine with bullet and chili watching a good show now. So I really, I was on the very front end of the Cosby Show on those must-see Thursday nights. I never got into Friends. I did like 90210 and Melrose Place.
Right. So basically the teenage soap opera.
Yeah, basically. But I didn't. I never got into ER. I liked Frasier a little bit. I watched a little Cheers. I just wasn't big into TV. Larry Sanders Show on HBO, Dream On back in the day. Really started getting into TV when I got married. I think most people do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're married now.
Yeah,
the excitement's done. Let's watch TV together.
So Thursday night, that must-see TV lineup on NBC was pretty. I can remember my wife and I because my wife's in the medical industry.
So they took for 15 years. They dominated, right?
Here we are, the NBC.
NBC on Thursday nights. Because Mad About You.
Yep. Cosby was on there at one point. Cheers was on there at one point. Wings, you remember Wings?
Yep. Friends, Frasier.
Frasier was on there. I mean, they just loaded up that Thursday night. But ER was kind of like
Was Dunaway on NBC then?
Yeah, he was on NBC 13.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying that was the place to be, right? I would think the spot rates were probably the most on VTM back then.
Yeah, I would imagine. Robert said he watched ER and Frasier. What else does he say? And Friends. All right. There you go, Robert. That 70s show, according to NH3425.
I have never seen an episode. My kids
not
both
out there.
liked it in watching in syndication,
Yeah.
but I've never seen it.
And then he also says Boy Meets World, The Simpsons, Family Matters, Roseanne. I never watched any of those.
Okay, so my ex, Bethany, loved Roseanne.
Yeah.
So I watched a couple episodes with her. I thought it was good. The Simpsons I loved as a kid, like high school, college, but I can't stand The Simpsons now. I don't get it anymore.
Never watched it. I watched Family Guy. I think you would like, I don't know if you would like Family Guy, but you would laugh at the humor.
So
It's so inappropriate you would laugh at it.
okay, well, there was a time that I could come home as a kid in any animation, like Tom and Jerry,
Yeah.
with literally no dialogue.
No.
It would just be
Just sound
fascinating.
effects.
So I loved all these cartoons. Saturday mornings were like for the generation under 40, they have no idea how important Saturday mornings were to
Oh,
us.
God, I love
And
it.
I love
Yeah.
cartoons, but like anything animated now,
Yeah.
like even back in the day, the movie Heavy Metal, did you ever see it?
I never saw it.
So it was an R-rated, a lot of violence, a lot of sex, animated movie that I saw on HBO when I was a kid. I loved everything animated, but now I just can't stand anything animated.
Yeah, I remember Saturday mornings, He-Man cartoon, G.I. Joe cartoon. So I saw some. Where was I watching this? I remember it was at the Smithsonian.
Who's more iconic, Snake Eyes or Skeletor?
Probably Snake Eyes. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I might change that. It might be Skeletor.
Could you do a movie on Snake Eyes?
I don't think so because he does that. Well, Darth Vader didn't really have a face. He had a mask. Snake Eyes just had that.
But if you did a one-off on G.I. Joe for the nostalgic older fans,
See, I love
and
that.
you made it more of like a John Wick where Snake Eyes is a
Yeah.
contract killer.
Yeah. See, I'd love that. I'd go watch that. I don't know who plays G.I. Joe. Bradley Cooper, if you could get him, but I don't know if he would take that role, would he?
One of the Hemsworths.
Yeah.
You got some actors you probably could figure that out.
Yeah.
Snake Eyes, you didn't even need. He's always got his face covered, right?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter who plays, it's just a voice for Snake
Yeah.
Eyes. But I was watching, it was at the Smithsonian. I had not really thought of this because I was growing up in this era.
Which Smithsonian? DC?
Yeah, in DC, this was
Does it live up to the hype?
Do you like museums?
I love museums.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You'd like it then. I like the American history. I think you would like that one. This is the one I was in. So there's a bunch of them,
Have you been to the D-Day, World War II in
In New Orleans?
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
See, I haven't been still.
Oh, gosh, you got to do that.
Yeah,
That is
I'll
a
do it next
phenomenal
time.
museum. I went back. Gosh, it's been, Lance, it's probably been a good 20 years since I've been. You want me to tell you a story on that? So this was SEC basketball tournament. I was down there for the SEC basketball tournament when it was in New Orleans, but I'm not going to remember the year, but I want to say it was like 2003-ish. So I'm down there, and I go to the D-Day Museum. I heard how good it was. I think they call it the World War II Museum now, if I'm not mistaken.
they
But
do.
back then, it was the D-Day Museum. And so I go to it, and very early, there's this older gentleman, and he's talking to a younger girl that looked like his daughter, and he's explaining everything. And I realized pretty quick this guy was there. Like, this guy's a D-Day veteran. And then he confirms it, when we were there, and I was like, oh, this is incredible. So I told the lady they could sense me just kind of lingering around them, and she
So at
said,
that point, he's probably 80.
yeah. And they could sense me lingering around him, and she says, hey, do you want to join us? And I was like, this seems like a family moment. I really don't. And he was so nice. He said, oh, no, I would love to talk to you about this. And I was like, so you were there? And he introduced himself. He's like, yeah, I was D-Day +1. I don't think he was on the actual D-Day, but, the day +1. And I said, I'm going to keep my distance, but I would love to listen to you talk. And he's like, no, you don't have to keep your distance. Just come with us and ask any questions you want to. Dude, that was incredible for like an hour and a half just hearing a guy talk
Wouldn't
about
that be cool, though, if you got, like, obviously, most of that generation's dead now, but if you got guys that were in Desert Storm,
Yeah.
the Gulf Wars, like, to give back to our veterans, give them jobs, let them...
Be tour guides,
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, I would much rather have a guy that's been in combat and can explain different things about
Did
that.
I ever tell you the story? I think I've told this on the show before. The D-Day veteran that was at Saving Private Ryan, that's a friend of my family.
No.
All right, so it's one of my mom and dad's friends. His father was stormed the beach at Normandy, like day one D-Day in the boats that lowered. So
Does he talk about it?
Well, he had not talked a lot about it, and he's passed now, of course. Most of that generation has, unfortunately. But when Saving Private Ryan came out, they had been to see it, and they were like, I don't know if we can take Pops to see it. Like, that's pretty graphic at the start, and I don't know what that'll do to him. So they talked to him, he's like, no, I want to go see it. I want to go see it. And they warned him. They're like, hey, this first 20 minutes is really, really gritty and difficult. And he said, I lived it, right? So, I don't know that they can make it worse.
Yeah, but I've heard for people that have suffered from trauma, let's just say a rape victim, and you walk into a movie and there's a rape scene, how it can trigger immediately the emotion. And so for him to actually live that day, that's crazy.
So they go to see Saving Private Ryan, and early in the movie, when Tom Hanks is in the boat and, they're coming up, they start to lower the door, and he yells out in the theater. He's like, don't lower the door. My God, don't lower the door.
Oh, God.
I mean, he was just living it again. And they were like, do we need to leave? And he settled down, thank God, and was able to watch the whole movie. But can you imagine that?
No.
Like, you lived it?
No.
And then
I can't imagine. There's some uncomfortable scenes in movies, but, that's one of those scenes you're like, I guess you would never know how you're going to react, but knowing once that door drops, there's a better chance that you're not going to see tomorrow.
Yep. Especially if you're in the front. I mean, those guys in the front knew we're just basically a human shield for the guys behind us. Hopefully they can get out of the boat.
God, so many guys didn't even make it out of the water.
Buddy, they were a different cut back then, though. Our generation and the generations that followed us could have never done that. Our grandfather's generation, that was a different,
they were a different cut,
man. God, what was that? I was telling you a story that got me off on that.
I don't know. We were D-Day Museum, World War II. You had the tour guide.
Oh, no. So I was at the American History Museum, the Smithsonian up in D.C. when we went up there. And they were showing, there was a little video about the history of cartoons, how they were educational. And then in the 80s, I never even thought about this, but they were talking about how, Mattel and Hasbro took over the Saturday morning cartoons, and it was all about selling product. And then Congress
cereals have done it too.
Yeah, and Congress had to get involved and say, no, you got to be somewhat education. You got to have some education in it. Because I started thinking, you know what, it's right. G.I. Joe and He-Man, there was no education in there. No. Thundercats.
But why should there be, if a kid gets sold on that, so be it.
Yeah. I'm kind of with it. I enjoyed it. All right, we are live at Walk-Ons in Trussville. If you're here tonight or today, you can scan this QR code at each table. 10% of your proceeds go to Children's of Alabama. Don't forget the Indy Grand Prix of Alabama, powered by AmFirst. Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. May, the road to the Indy 500 starts right here in Birmingham. You can see more right here at Walk-Ons, and I think it's IndyAlabama.com. If you'll give me 2 seconds, I'll tell you. Tell them what we got at Walk-Ons too, though.
Yeah, so they've got happy hour going right now, but of course you can come in. The menu is always changing. Right now they've got are they tenderloin sliders? I need to get the menu
because
I just we had dinner there last week, or the one over closer to us, Tattersall.
Yeah.
But the food, I'm telling you, is second to none. TV layouts, incredible. 22 or 16-ounce draft beers for happy hour. Come join us. Can't make it to this location. There's one in Hoover. There's one right off of Highway 280. But all the food is consistent and fantastic.
IndyAlabama.com for tickets to the Indy Racing League. They're at Marvin Motorsports, IndyAlabama.com. And they've actually got a show car here, so you can come, as Lance said, and see if you could fit in one of the cockpits of one of those Indy cars. Most people cannot. They are pretty small, smaller than you would think. I mean, those cars really are smaller than you would think, aren't they? Watch the Indy 500, they look bigger than that.
They are. You think Kendrick Perkins could fit in that?
Kendrick Perkins couldn't get a leg in that thing.
Yeah. Could John Daly fit in that?
No, John Daly couldn't fit in it. John Stockton, I think, could.
Yeah.
Steve Nash, maybe. How tall was Steve Nash?
Steve Nash was 6'2".
See, those guys are so much taller than you think, those NBA guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if Steve Nash can do it, because you're 6'3", right?
Yeah, it would be pretty tough for Steve Nash. I saw him.
Yeah.
Apparently, LeBron does a show where he drinks wine. I don't know what it's called, and has different people come out. The guy looks kind of like Roy McIlroy on the other side. But he did a sit down with Steve Nash not long ago. I wonder what kind of wine they were drinking. Probably top shelf, right?
I'm sure it was.
So can I throw you my?
Well, I was going to do. Let me do some feedback real quick. Let's see. Michael watched Saved by the Bell every morning before school. I watched a little Saved by the Bell, but not a ton.
Yeah, look, I mean, the storylines were always awful, but because you had Kelly Kapowski and Jesse Spanos and Lisa Turtle, it brought us in, right?
Yeah, absolutely, it did. What was your? I think we did this in radio one day. Give me your power ranking.
I would go Kelly, Jesse, Lisa.
I'd go Kelly, Lisa, Jesse.
Okay.
Almost everybody's got Kelly first.
Yeah.
It's pretty close, though, to me between Kelly and Lisa. Jesse shut up a lot of people's rankings and her work after.
Yeah, and Showgirls.
Saved by the Bell.
I think Lisa had kind of meltdowns.
Yeah.
I don't know what really happened to her. I'll tell you, Kelly Kapowski in her prime. So she did 90210, which I thought is kind of the rebel girl. She looked good, but then she did a show with Bill Bellamy after that. I don't remember what it was called.
Right.
But that was kind of her moment.
It's crazy though to me that Slater had the best career of that whole group.
You know, so
Tiffany Amber Thiessen's was really, really good.
Well, so was Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Yeah, it was.
Because, you know, he did NYPD Blue for a little bit. He did some kind of attorney lawyer show. I don't even remember what it was. But yeah, he had decent post career.
But Slater, I mean, he's still going. That guy keeps getting worse.
Screech is not.
Screech ended poorly for him. I hate that.
He did, yeah.
I hate that. He was a good character. Colton disagrees with me. He said Family Guy would annoy you. I think he would laugh at some of the humor, though. In small doses, you might. Steven says Glenn Powell, a really good G.I. Joe. I could go with that. Glenn Powell plays G.I. Joe. He's got all-American look.
I don't like the Ram commercials with Glenn Powell. Like, is it official him and Sydney Sweeney together?
Oh, are they?
Well, so she was dating some older rich dude, and something happened. I think she took Glenn Powell to one of her friends' weddings or something.
Oh, wow. You're officially dating when you go to a friend's wedding.
Well, I mean, would you trust your girl with Glenn Powell for a weekend?
No.
I mean,
that's when you say goodbye.
Yeah,
I can't really blame you.
I don't think, I don't know, man. Sydney Sweeney would be a good +1, though.
Indeed. Alan Rickson, who plays Jack Reacher, would be a good G.I. Joe.
He's just too big.
I've never watched Jack
massive
Reacher.
Guy.
Is that the one that is he talking about? Is that the guy that plays him on the streaming show?
Yeah. So me and Jack watch it.
The acting isn't amazing.
No, it's not. He's not terrible though. He's actually better than you would think.
Yeah.
It's just got a little bit of, but most of the, in my opinion, the Amazon Prime shows have a little bit of cheese element to them. But it's entertaining. He's a bad dude.
NH3425 says Ray Park would be a good Snake Eyes. I don't know who Ray Park is.
Ray Park was the dude that played one of those Jedis. So he's, I guess, in martial arts, but I think that was like 20 years ago. He was the one that played the red and black face guy. I never saw it.
Oh, not Wolverine.
I'm talking about the Jedi and Star Wars.
Oh,
bad
okay.
guys. That was Ray Park.
Okay. Justin asked if you have seen Fargo season 5. If not, season 5 and season 1. You don't have to watch them in order.
Yep.
Have you watched any of it?
Yes. Season 5, I think, was with Juno Temple and John Hamm. And then season 1 was Billy Bob Thornton. Fargo is great. Like, the only one I did not watch from beginning to end was the Chris Rock one, Jason Schwartzman.
I tried.
I think season 3 was the best.
Well, I tried on the movie, but William Macy and Frances McDormand, I loved it. The accent just killed me. I loved it. I know that's the accent they use up there.
Yeah.
They nailed it. But
Can you imagine living there?
No, it drove me
Cold
crazy.
weather, terrible accents, ugly women.
I know. Well, what is there to like?
Bad combination, man.
What is there to like?
Yeah, I love that movie, though, but I'm a big Coen Brothers guy.
Sturgill agrees. He says, I've never liked Coen Brothers that much. Fargo seasons 1 and 2 were great, he says. Bobby says early 80s, Mighty Mouse and Bozo the Clown in the morning before school.
Oh, the grand prize game. I mean, we used to just recreate it with buckets and a ping pong ball.
Yeah. Well, we essentially did that at SEC Media Days, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I think every kid back then growing up thought I'd be really good at the grand prize game. Remember, they played for somebody else too. It'd be like, okay, we're gonna draw. We're gonna play for Kerry Jones in Wichita, Kansas.
Why can't I play for me?
Well, no, they would have the audience member play for themselves, but at the same time they would play for somebody else.
So you're double. I never watched Bozo.
Oh yeah,
Was it
Bozo
on
and Cookie?
Was it on WGN?
It was on WGN.
See, I didn't get WGN.
And I think there was a dude before them called Ray Rayner. I think was his guy.
See, growing up, I got WOR out of Secaucus, New
You didn't
Jersey.
get GN?
I did not get WGN.
I got both. And TBS.
I got TBS now. You were Braves and Hawks on TBS, but I got the Mets on WGN. The Mets and I want to say the New Jersey Nets. I think you got New Jersey Nets games on WOR.
I remember the Mets on WOR. I don't remember basketball. GN, I do remember Artis Gilmore and the Bulls, and obviously Cubs, occasionally White Sox, and then obviously TBS. I don't remember the Hawks on TBS, but obviously Braves.
Yeah. All right. Lance is about to ask a question. Just a reminder, we are at the Walk-Ons in Trussville. Place is filling up. People are coming to see this Indy car. They're going to enjoy a happy hour. They're also going to give back. You scan the QR code while you're here. 10% of the proceeds go directly to Children's of Alabama, the Medical Properties Trust, Children's of Alabama, Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst, out at Barber Motorsports Park. Coming up, you can get all the information and buy tickets, IndyAlabama.com, IndyAlabama.com. Somebody gave a shout out. Here you go. Walk-on shout out here in the chat room. The bacon cheese ranch waffle fries.
Give me 16, whatever.
Yeah. Diet Coke.
Stella.
Boy, he regrets walking by here, doesn't he?
Yeah, and what he wants. Yeah. Thanks.
Hello.
Hey, how are
What's
you?
up? All right, so you've got a
We're live on the air.
Yeah.
No big deal.
I'm so sorry.
no, don't
Hey.
apologize. You need to take a picture of us?
No,
Smile.
Are you Jen?
Are you guys?
Are you
doing the
Jen?
interview? No.
No,
Are you guys doing the interview with the race car driver?
not that I'm aware of, but we're happy to do it if you want us to.
No, it's okay.
Nobody told us.
Just trying to find my way around this place.
Okay.
Have fun on the air.
Yeah, thank you. We'll help any way we can. I'll interview the driver. I don't care. I don't know. I don't know who the driver is. Don't know what I'm going to ask him. All right, you had a question. It did go out on Facebook.
Okay.
So go to Next Row Live on Facebook, Lance's question of the day. Comment in the comment section on what he asked. And I had to think about it. I was there when you videoed it. We had a lunch, and you videoed it right after lunch, a little tea. What was the question?
So the question was, I just got a text. Threw me off. 5:30 is when land.
I thought the text was, hey, by the way, y'all are interviewing an IndyCar driver.
Oh,
Okay,
that
thanks.
could be next.
Yeah.
I can give you $10,000. You walk away right now.
Right.
Or you get one free throw for $1 million. And if you miss a free throw, you get nothing.
Yeah, so free throw is good, I get $1 million. Free throw is bad, I get nothing.
Yep.
Or I can take 10 grand and
Or
more.
you take 10 grand and walk. Look,
This is essentially a basketball version of Deal or No Deal. Did you ever watch that
I've
game?
never seen it. I know.
You've never seen Deal or No
I've
Deal?
never seen it.
You get the concept though, right?
Yeah.
Concept is you select one through whatever suitcase, and that suitcase could have 0 in it or it could have $1 million in it. And as you eliminate suitcases, you're like, okay, number 14, they open, it's got $750.
That's chance. Like, I'm not saying my skill set is great right now. I think, and I said this on the question of the day earlier when Taylor filmed it, probably I'm about a 55 to 60% free throw shooter right now. But I would roll the dice, and I would, because I would kick myself in the ass forever, because that 10,000 is going to go pretty quick. The $1 million, you can pay off a house, you can pay for your kid's college.
Yep.
That is going to be a difference maker long term. So I would rather leave it in my hands, take that one shot for the $1 million.
Yeah. You say you're a 60% free throw shooter.
I'm guessing right now.
So that's a 60% chance
Yep.
for $1 million. I'd take that anytime.
Anytime.
All right. Well,
And our buddy John just said, would you do it for 100,000? I would take the 100, not walk.
well, that's where I was going to go. I was going to start
Yeah.
climbing to see where you walk. So 20,000,
No,
30,
no,
40.
no.
Is 100 the number?
I think
90?
50. I think 50 would
50?
start talking. Yeah.
50 is where you're like, okay, I need to walk.
I mean, 50 can get, I don't know, 2 or 3 years of college now.
Yeah.
I mean, is that about what it is?
Depends on where your kids go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, there's just something about having the opportunity, one and done for $1 million. Now, taxes is gonna.
Well, this is tax free. It's
Okay.
either 10 grand tax free or $1 million tax free.
Damn.
This is after tax.
Okay. Yeah. I would definitely take the one shot. I wonder what the majority of people would do.
Brooks says, I'm the same. Give me the shot all day. Shot for $1 million. So when I was in school.
Well, so let me change it for you.
Okay.
12-foot putt. You get a 10,000, or you get the one
Well,
12-foot putt.
You know, you got a lot of variables putting that you don't have with free throw shooting. Every free throw is pretty much the same.
I
mean,
think
if it's a big breaker,
I think I would take the 10 grand in the putt.
I say I've got more confidence I can get a 12-foot putt than I can get a free throw. Well, I don't know. What's a tour average on a 12-foot putt? What do you think it is? It's
The
going to be
tour
less than you
average-
think.
No, I think it's going to be about 68%.
Oh, I bet that. No, it's going to be much lower than that. PGA Tour.
Much lower than that.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 feet is from you. No, I'm going 68%.
PGA Tour make percentage from 12 feet. It's going to take a second. I thought I could get this.
You're not on the
Here we go.
tour, so we've got to back you down a little bit.
There's
right?
no doubt.
I don't know how good your short game is.
Putting is better than chipping. I'm not an amazing chipper. I'll go ahead and tell you. What percentage did you say?
I said 68% on a 12-footer.
65% at 6 feet on tour. 12 feet, they say 30% one putt.
Oh my gosh!
I'm telling you,
And
man.
you would do that?
Well, these are more difficult putts. They're playing the more difficult courses. Yeah, Diet Coke. Yeah, thank you, Andre.
Yeah, and the greens are a little more difficult on the tour.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're getting much more
watching
difficult.
one of the greens on the Masters this weekend. I forgot which one it was, but like the precision you got to have for it not to roll over or roll back.
Yeah.
And like the speed has just got to be absolutely spot on.
I mean, outside of 3 feet at Augusta, I'm taking the money and walking. Those are going to be so tough.
I wouldn't trust myself on 3 or 4 foot putt right now.
Yeah, not
really
at Augusta. Those are tough.
Like 30-yard field goal, I'd take the 10 grand, I think.
I've never been able to get the field goal kick right. Our buddy C. Stu, y'all had a bet with him one time.
Yeah, it's a true story. You guys will love this. So my buddy C. Stu's a bigger guy.
Yeah, he's a
hand
big
in the
fella.
dirt.
Yeah.
He's
Nicest guy in the world.
his number's definitely going to be from 50 to 79.
That's right. That's right. And he's trying to protect the quarterback.
We're sitting on the couch back when we used to gamble a lot.
Yeah. Thanks, Andre.
We used to gamble a lot back then, and dude missed an extra point. And we had been there literally just pounding beer all day. There's probably 15 of us. I remember our buddy Cole Kubelik was with us back then.
Was there?
Yeah, he was there. And C-Stu was like, I could make that right now. And we're like, let's prove it. And so we went to Oak Mountains Field and we jumped the fence. And this is literally midnight on a Saturday.
Right.
And so we get up a bunch of money. It was like $1,500 or something. And he goes out there and pulls a Mark Mosley and freaking
Straight on
hits a 30. And this guy at that point, C-Stu's 330, 340 pounds.
Right. No warm-up
Jogs up.
kick?
No, hits it, and he would have made it from 40, 45.
Are you kidding
I'm
me?
not kidding.
Did he kick in high school or anything?
No, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this. It was pitch dark. He might have gotten one warm-up kick. I take that back. I think he did get one warm-up. But the money kick, he put it through by 10 yards, and he probably at that point had 20, 25 beers.
And he walked away with how much money?
1,000, 1,500, a lot.
What did he have on the line? Was it?
I don't think much. I think it was
Yeah.
like 10 to 1 or something.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. But that was pretty crazy.
Yeah. I love that story. Now, here's another story about him, and this is amazing that there's no video of this because all y'all were there. The old parking lot at Superior Grill, it was post-Talladega race, right?
Yep.
And there was a former Auburn defensive back that raced him backpedaling, and he had to run forward.
That was another one.
Yeah.
I remember Cole was with us on that bus. There was like 15 of us went to Talladega. And I remember C-Stu was getting a little tipsy, having a little fun. Cole, I bet you can't block me. I bet I can get through. And it just went from one bet to another. And by the time we parked, our other buddy Chris was like, I can beat you backwards in a 40-yard dash. And he smoked C-Stu.
I mean, the dude played SEC defensive back. I mean,
but still, running backwards for 40 yards.
Yeah, that is a lot.
I mean, do you think you could do it right now?
I would trip and fall.
Yeah,
40 yards, like I could do it like 10 yards, but 40 yards, I'm eventually going to trip and fall.
I think I would trip and fall too.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to run backwards. Hard to run backwards. A lot of people are saying, give me the shot. Brooks, I think I showed Brooks already. Give me the shot all day. Stephen asked, what if Rory is putting for you? Would you let Rory putt for you? Yeah, all right, here's the deal. 12 foot, you putt a Rory putt, so 100% you let Rory putt. Yeah. Now, he doesn't have the investment you've got.
No, but I could not live with myself taking 10 grand and leaving somebody like Rory out there that could make $1 million for you with one putt. You would have to let him go, right?
Justin.
Let me ask you this: would you rather Dylan Cardwell take the free throw or you?
Well, I mean, he's 30%. You think you're better than that?
Me too. I know I'm better than 30%.
Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah, I mean.
Now, in that situation, are you tensed up? I mean, what happens?
Well, I mean, so there's so many factors, too. Do I get a warm-up free throw or two? Or are you going to drive me over here to Trussville's gym? You at
I'm talking cold.
You hand me a ball, and I got to hit a free throw.
Cold.
I'd probably take Cardwell, honestly, as bad as he is. He's at least done it recently. When's the last time you shot a free throw? I don't even know the last time. Actually, I do.
I know my pool golf game's been spot on. So,
did you play basketball in high school?
Feel like I got the rotation.
Did you play at Homewood?
Well, so it was a little different. This is a funny story because I actually got the league shut down. We had it was more cool, I'll say, to play for the park league we played for. Our team was the Wolves.
So it was almost like travel ball.
And
school ball.
So we had games on Fridays and Saturdays, and like our crowds were better. But we ended up, and it's honest to God truth, we got in the old Gresham. Do you know where Gresham Middle School was?
No.
You know where our buddy Jimmy lives in Vestavia?
That was a middle school.
That was the gym. Yeah, it was a middle school. It was Gresham.
Wow. Oh, that's right, because you go by that. Okay.
So we're playing one night there. There might have been 3 or 4 parents in the crowd. There was nobody there. It was Friday night. I'll never forget. We had a red roof hotel party afterwards. And we ended up getting in a brawl with this team from Vestavia. And there's only 2 officials there. So, like, nobody can stop this thing.
That's right.
And we ended up, they disbanded the league. That was it. It was a complete mess.
So because of that fight, the league ended.
Yeah.
So that happened at Saks when I was a little kid. I'll never forget this. Saks and Alexandria used to play. It's 2 communities north of Anniston that shared.
Did they like each other?
No, it's a heated rivalry.
Was Freddie Kitchens
No,
involved in
this is a different one. That's a different one. I was there too. So Saks and Alexandria played, and Alexandria was kind of the country school, and Saks was the preppy kids. Where I went, can you believe?
The Socials and the Greasers.
Kids. Yeah. So there was a lot of animosity there, and everybody dated. They dated each other's girls and all that. So that just wrought for animosity.
Bad blood.
We are sitting, I'll never forget, we're sitting on the visitor side, which is just normal visitor side bleachers, and we're up near the top, and that all-out brawl breaks out in the parking lot behind us. I mean, 50 people just going at it, and I will never forget this little kid. One guy had this other guy by his hair and was just banging his head on the hood of a car. And like you could hear him, bam, bam, bam.
Was that traumatizing as a kid?
Yeah, like I could still remember it. I couldn't have been any older than like 9 or 10 and could still remember it. And that ended the rivalry. Like they were in the same region or area or whatever it was back then. And I think they had to appeal to the state. Like these 2 teams can't be in the region anymore because they fight all the time. And then there was another one in basketball. Like
the only thing I will say, like that stuff is so immature. It was stuff that happened back in the day. But nobody ever pulled out a gun. Nobody ever pulled out a knife.
Fist.
That was all it was.
Yeah, I mean, you fought to the end.
Now that kind of stuff happens. Somebody gets shot.
Now, Freddie Kitchens, that was when he was the Alabama quarterback. Anybody that's old enough to remember him getting suspended.
He was a bad dude, by the way.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
I worked construction for 2 days with Freddie.
Did you really?
Yeah, I had Brian Denny.
Yeah.
But I remember Freddie being an extremely nice guy.
Oh,
I remember
great nice.
seeing him out at the booth a lot down in Tuscaloosa. But Freddie was one of those good old country boys. Country strong. I thought he was a really good college quarterback. But that for a quarterback, he could whip a man's ass.
So Freddie was back in. So Freddie's from Gadsden,
Etowah, right?
Etowah High School, which is in Attala. So that's where Freddie's from, is Attala. And Etowah and Oxford back then.
You think he's ever shot a buck
rivalry.
before?
Yes, 100%. Etowah and Oxford had a massive rivalry, and they would always play out in the state tournament and the state state playoffs. And that was the genesis of this fight. So he comes to Brothers Bar in Jacksonville. There's a bunch of Oxford guys in there.
What kind of bar was Brothers?
It was probably, I wouldn't call it a honky tonk. I mean, Velcro Pygmies would play there. Who are the other bands? Telluride. Was Telluride?
Yeah, Telluride was.
Yeah, Velcro Pygmies. There was another one that played there a lot. Who was the other?
Cheesebrokers, Metal Rose.
Cheesebrokers,
Okay.
yeah, Cheesebrokers. That was it. So you wouldn't call that a honky tonk. I mean, it's more like, I don't know what the Tuscaloosa equivalent would be to.
Trying to think of some bars like that. I don't know. I don't get it.
Anyway, so that's the type of place it was, cheesebrokers and that stuff. So there's a bunch of Oxford guys in there, a bunch of Etowah guys, and of course they start jawing. That's what started the fight. And man, I am telling you, it was a bloodbath, and it spilled out into Highway 21. Of course, it's late at night; nobody's driving. I mean, Highway 21. There's not much space between Brothers and Highway 21. If anybody's ever been to Jacksonville, I mean, the thing spills out in the street. There are people flying everywhere. I mean, all out brawl. And I remember thinking, we need to get out of here because everybody's about to be a witness. So we left, and I can't remember if it was the next day or 2 days later. It's national news. Gene Stallings has suspended Alabama quarterback Freddie Kitchens.
And that was the reason?
That was the reason. It was that fight. He got arrested.
Wow.
Yeah, that thing was.
I think I do remember him getting arrested for a fight now.
Yeah. Colton's right. Riley Green used to play Brothers Live, but now I was out of school by then. Obviously, Riley's way younger than I am. Steven says,
you think Riley ever gave a bar rat a ride home from Brothers?
Oh, I guarantee you he gave somebody a lift. Steven says the Pygmies played Holly Pond about 3 weeks ago. Lead singer of the Belper. Don't you remember he was on our show?
He was great.
What was his name?
Cameron,
that's right. And they're doing school shows now.
Yeah.
Oh, he was fun to talk to. I liked him.
Yeah.
Here's Bobby's basketball story. Church league. Guy on the. Are we doing the interview? Are we doing the interview?
You are.
Who are we talking to? Nobody told us.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like you're lying to me.
No, I'm being 100% honest.
Scott McLaughlin?
Scott McLaughlin.
We got Scott on?
Yeah.
What time?
5 o'clock. You
5
are
o'clock.
such a little liar.
No, I'm not lying.
You're smiling.
Hey,
No,
we're going to need Scott in about 5 minutes because we go off at 5 o'clock.
Well, you got to leave, right? But I can talk to him.
Okay, so you can handle it.
it.
Okay, well he's gonna
I'll
take
do
it.
the interview.
The liar's gonna take it.
Okay, well, do you want it? He's ready whenever you guys are.
It's up to you.
Talk about the Indy car race, so it's you tell me.
Why don't you? That way you can go. He's got somewhere to be.
Oh, you're popular.
No,
Bring him in about.
I gotta pick somebody up at the airport.
Yeah, he's got to pick somebody up at the airport. Can
He's
you bring?
got fans.
He does. Can you bring him in about 10 minutes?
Absolutely.
Yeah, bring him out here in about 10 minutes. He'll give him his mic. We'll sit down. We're going to be super casual about this. And I am not lying. This is the first time I've
I
heard this.
don't know about this. We're keeping an eye on you.
Wow. Okay.
She thinks I'm lying. I'm not lying. All right,
I didn't know anything about it.
I got to Google Scott McLaughlin now. I don't know anything about this guy.
Well, I mean, ask him the free throw question. 80s sitcoms. It's probably a lot you can talk about outside of that small ass car. Do you think Scott? I'm going to put the over under at 5'11".
He's from New Zealand.
He's
All
short.
right, let's read on the show live. I'm going to read his.
Oh, I saw him. That was the Roy looking guy.
Oh, was that who that was?
Yeah.
Okay.
He got out of this Mazda.
Yeah. All right. Here's some Scott McLaughlin facts here. He's New Zealand. He's from New Zealand.
So he's got an accent.
He drives Team Penske.
Okay. They both have Team Penske shirts on.
Yep. You're right about that. Let's see. He was born in Christchurch, New Zealand.
Okay.
Well,
There's a good New Zealand movie called Once Were Warriors. So a guy named Curtis Hanson directed it, and he did 2 big features after that. It's a really entertaining movie about a lot of the native gangs in New Zealand. But after that, he did LA Confidential and then 8 Mile.
Right. All right, here's the personal life. Here's where you get the good stuff from. Wikipedia. He's married to Carly Panone, a school teacher from Long Island. That's not going to do much for me.
Wait, how does a New Zealand car driver marry a school teacher from Long Island?
I'll ask that. It says they met by chance in 2016 in Las Vegas.
How many people meet by chance in Vegas? A lot. He took Vegas home with him. How does he take Vegas home with him?
He made the trip to help a fellow racer competing in an international karting tournament, and they met. So she moved to Australia with him, and they were married in 2020. Well, there you go. So there's a couple.
He's obviously got pretty good game if he picked somebody up in Vegas and took them all the way back to another country.
He's got 2 dogs, one named Chase and the other named Luna. If you find out these dogs are Vizslas, you'll stay for the interview.
I will stay for the interview.
Okay, so if they're Vizslas, you do the interview. If they're not, I do the interview.
That's fair.
Okay. He began watching American team sports after he met his wife. So he didn't get into sports. Now, this is fascinating. Did you see it?
No.
All right, so this guy met his wife in 2016. So that's when he started watching American sports. He's got a baseball team, a Major League team, an NBA team, and an NFL team that he's a fan of.
Okay, well, if
So,
he
but
never
he didn't
watched
start watching until 2016. So see if
his
you can pick the
wife's from
teams.
Long Island.
That's right.
New York Giants fan, gotta be. Gotta be a Yankees
That is-
fan.
that is incorrect and incorrect.
And so it was Major League Baseball, NFL, and what? What was the other?
NBA. You're on the right path.
I would have gone Knicks, Yankees, and
Knicks,
Giants. Okay.
Mets, and Carolina Panthers.
The Carolina Owl.
Well, 2016, that was Cam going to the Super Bowl, right? What year was that?
It was 2016. It was 2013 or 14.
He
2014.
may live in Charlotte with Penske.
Oh, yeah. That's
probably
good
it.
call.
Yeah. All right, so I'll ask him about that. So I can do a 5-minute interview on that, don't you think? Do you think I can get 5 minutes out of it?
I mean, I want to know about. Let's get him out here now.
Well,
I got
but we've
10
only
minutes.
got 2 mics. Are you going to do the interview?
No,
We've only got
never
2
mind.
microphones.
I just want to know about this Vegas encounter.
Why don't you do the interview then? You want to do the interview?
No, you do it.
You don't want to know too much about it.
He's ready.
Yeah.
He's eating some wings.
He's eating some wings.
Oh, he's not ready then.
No.
Dude, I heard this. This has been like 2 different. So I'm normally on the phone in the car, but
Yeah.
every now and then I'll just have occasionally something in the background. So whatever reason, it was on ESPN radio today. So when I was going in, Freddie Coleman was doing mornings for some reason. It's like they throw Freddie all
Right.
over the place. And he was like, on the other side, he was doing his tees. This one figure has never had a wing in his life. We'll tell you who he is.
That's unbelievable.
So I got out, went into the office, and so I'm leaving today. And then it's another ESPN show. I don't know who the personalities were. And they went to, so apparently, you know who does the Baltimore Orioles broadcast?
It
It's
used to be
2
Jim-
former pitchers.
Oh,
One of them's old school and one of them's kind of,
Jim Palmer died, didn't he?
no.
Okay, so it's
Jim Palmer's one of them.
All right.
And then Kevin Brown.
Oh, wow, I forgot about
Now,
him.
maybe it's not the Kevin Brown that used to pitch for the Dodgers. and
Wasn't he
Marlins. I don't know.
unlikable? I thought
Yeah.
nobody liked him.
But maybe it's the Kevin Brown broadcast. But
Okay.
anyway, the conversation came up. Jim Palmer's like, I've never had a chicken wing in my life.
So he's the guy.
He's the guy. That seems impossible.
It really
right?
does.
Living
They
in
are
America
so,
and traveling with the team and going to sports bars and hotel bars. How do you not have a wing?
yeah. No, I mean, they just seem to be so ever present.
I don't know where I was going with that, but
I
I
don't
do
know
want to
either.
know how this guy went into Las Vegas and left with a wife. Those usually get annulled, don't they?
They usually do. So Sisk told me, I want to say, but he just said, your dad's dead, right?
Is his dad dead? Do you
I
know?
have no idea. I've got nothing about his parents. I got a lot of information about his wife. Hunter said I should ask him if he's afraid of animals in Australia or New Zealand. They do have a lot of crazy wild animals out there, don't they?
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
A girl I went to high school with dated one of the Flints. It was his
Okay.
high school sweetheart. She moved and still lives in New Zealand. Is that
Wow.
random?
I mean, that is pretty random to move from Birmingham, Alabama to New Zealand.
I think what happens sometimes, it is probably one of 100, but you get people that go visit somewhere and they plan on living there for 6 months, 3 months, and they're like, I love it.
Yeah,
I think that's what happened with her.
yeah.
It's a long way away.
It is a long way away to move. There's no doubt about it. All right, before we talk to the great Scott McLaughlin, you can go watch the Medical Properties
Was he
Trust
one of those
Children's-
500 most influential, like Jalen Hurts?
That was Jalen Hurts. I don't know who the other athletes are. Serena was one.
You
Jalen
sure
Hurts was-
Scott's not?
I'll ask him.
Yeah.
Are you one of the 500 most influential athletes in America? It is the Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst. You come here to walk-ons at Trussville. Matt, it's only this walk-ons, right?
Nope, all 3.
All 3 walk-ons? Okay. So walk-ons in Trussville, Stadium Trace, and then Tattersall Park down in Greystone. You can scan this code right here, this QR code while you're there. 10% of proceeds go directly to Children's of Alabama. So they're giving back. Walk-Ons, a great, great partner in our community, is giving back. And you can scan the QR code and get some great food and give back to Children's of Alabama May 2 through 4 at Barber Motorsports Park, IndyAlabama.com for info on the race, IndyAlabama.com. Also, Walk-Ons here anytime is a great place to come to Walk-Ons.
Yeah, look, I am in the Tattersall location, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. We've made it kind of a satellite office.
There's a good chance you go in there, you're going to see one of us.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I love just, going to the bar, whether I'm with Jack or Maddie, and just posting up and having great food, watching a game, go see Ken, all the fine folks at that location. But all the locations, food's so consistent, fantastic. Make sure you get out for happy hour and support a great cause.
All right, so I'm going to pick this story up before you go. So
you got to give me a 5-minute buffer where I get in the car and turn this on, right?
So Bobby says, my basketball story, church league, guy on the other team, throwing elbows and cracked my boy John Lanyas in the back of the neck.
Lanyas played on our Cumulus team. I'll let you get to the story, but did you know Lanyas played with the team that we used to get big by 40 all the time?
He's a big guy, too.
Lanyas pretty good.
Yeah,
He's kind of an old school post player.
Right. So the refs don't call a foul. Bobby says, I rush the court, and I got to pick up the second part of the story. Land a haymaker on the guy's jaw. Melee breaks out. I'm at the bottom of a huge pile. The only one kicked out the rest of the season. Turned out the elbow guy was an owner of a Chick-fil-A going through a nasty divorce and worried about losing his business. He called a few months later and asked forgiveness and apologized. I accepted and we laughed about it. Well, I would hope you eat at Chick-fil-A free, though.
True story back on this is back. I know a lot of people still think I'm immature, but back when we were doing the Cumulus teams, this is 15 years ago. I remember I got banned from the league for cussing out one of the officials. But then I went and apologized to him a couple of weeks later, and he let me back in.
So you cussed an official out?
Well, it wasn't. I didn't cuss him out. It was, I think I blocked the shot. He called a foul, and I told him to go. I forgot exactly what happened. It was bad, though, but he was like, You're out of here. And then they talked, and they were like, we're not putting up with you anymore. You're done. And then I had to come back, and I was like, I'm really sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's got to be an element of forgiveness there. Officials get a lot of crap.
Yeah.
So, all right, anything you guys want me to ask Scott McLaughlin, you can let me know right here. And I will ask him, are you afraid of animals in Australia?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Ask him like the most famous person to ever come out of Australia. Who do you think it is?
Mel Gibson.
Is it Mel Gibson? Mel Gibson's bigger than Russell Crowe.
First of all, he's from
Nicole
New Zealand.
Kidman's
There's a difference between New Zealand and Australia.
Yeah,
I bet he gets pissed about that.
It's kind of like our Guam.
I don't think so.
I think it is.
You couldn't find Guam on a map. New Zealand's right next to Australia.
I'm telling you, we have, for whatever reason, we have taken on Guam.
Well, I mean, it was an important outpost in World War II. That's going to be your issue there.
But I'm telling you, when you talk United States now, we always include Puerto Rico and we include Guam.
We do. I mean, it was an important outpost for us in the Pacific War there. We really, really needed Guam.
Well, we needed Hawaii, too.
We did. I'm glad we got it, aren't you? You just came from there.
I am.
Well, I just talked to a high school buddy of mine.
They do not like the Americans there, though, the true Americans.
They are Americans.
I don't think they consider themselves Americans.
Well, they sure take our tax dollars from us.
They would still be in huts if it wasn't for us.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they like our tourism. I had a high school buddy who was there at the same time you were.
Really?
He said the same. Yep. I told him the other day.
About the food?
He said the food's incredible.
It's incredible.
He said, you know what he told me? He was like, he said, I don't know if I'm just imagining this because I was there, if it's legit. He goes, but the pineapple, he goes, right, it was incredible.
Maddie told me,
could not believe how good it was.
Because I told you, Maddie lived there for about a year during the pandemic, and she was like, the fruit. She's a big fruit freak. She's like, the pineapple is the best you'll ever have. The coconut,
that's what he said. He said the watermelon,
the mango, the papaya, all that stuff. Like, there was a line literally like 50 yards deep to get acai bowls every morning.
Yeah.
It's just so freaking good.
Yeah. I keep waiting for that door to open or I've got to walk out. Scott McLaughlin. I mean, this is a true test.
He's got handlers. Does Scott have handlers, Matt?
This is a
of course he does.
This is a true test of interview skills. I did not know I was interviewing this guy when I got here.
Anybody could walk out, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, sit down and say, I'm Scott McLaughlin. I'm going to start asking him questions. So I did not know I was going to interview this guy. I've got really no information other than a quick glance at his Wikipedia page about him. And I'm going to, thank God, I don't have to fill like 10 minutes. But if it goes 10 minutes, it goes 10 minutes. I'll go as long as we go.
Let's talk American politics.
Who'd you vote for?
Yeah. Talk tariffs. How are the tariffs right now in New Zealand?
Is he a big golfer, Matt? Oh,
there you go.
He went to Children's Hospital earlier today.
Okay. So I'm getting some background
His
here.
second year in Birmingham, he's done all that.
Let Matt Robb do the interview.
Do you want to do the interview, Matt?
Hey, so is there?
Like Fred said,
I know there's good like Jason Day. There's and Greg Norman.
Yeah.
Who are some good New Zealand golfers? There's got to be one, right? Of course, I say that there's no good golfers from Guam.
Guam, yeah. America's New Zealand.
he wants JP to get him on Birmingham.
He needs to.
Scott McLaughlin could get himself on Birmingham Country Club. He can play anywhere he wants.
Oh, ask him if he's a fan of the F1 show. People are giving me some good questions here. Yeah, I wonder if he watches the F1 show on Netflix, even though it's a different.
Well, let me ask you this:
It's
would
different
you
racing
watch if there was an inside radio show? Would you watch it?
Not a chance. Not
the
a
last
chance.
damn thing I'm watching.
Yeah. Not a chance. Did you ever watch? You never watched? Well, you watched Frasier. That was a sitcom, obviously.
Yeah, but that was back before I was in radio.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Talk Radio with?
Nope.
Andy Dick was on
Andy
there.
Dick was in it.
Who's
Phil Hartman?
Phil Hartman was fantastic. Who's the bit actor that played the Stephen? He played the station owner.
Oh, I don't know.
He's also in. I'll tell you another thing he's in. He's the blind guy in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh shit, I don't know.
What is that guy's name? He's in Talk Radio.
If you show me, it's Stephen Root.
Stephen Root. Yeah. Funny actor.
Never even seen it, and I know that.
I know. Funny actor though. I like Stephen Root. Yeah, I mean he's a bit actor, but he's a funny
he
bit
is.
actor. Yeah.
But he's a good. I mean, Boardwalk Empire, Barry, No Country for Old Men. Stephen Root's done some good stuff. Office Space as
Yeah.
Milton.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. I like him. So now we're in the awkward filling time until this guy gets. No, you're good. You go that way. You'll be off camera.
You're not going to see
You'll be
it.
off
Yeah.
camera. You go that way.
Yeah.
No, not going to see it.
So you could also ask him, like, what is the best? Like, Days of Thunder is so cheesy, but like, what is the best? Like the movie Rush. Did you ever see Rush?
No, I've not
And I'm
seen
not talking
Rush.
about the Jason Patrick, Jennifer Jason Lee, undercover narc Rush. I'm talking about the Rush with the Hemsworth, where it
No,
was the
I've never
open
seen it.
wheel. Yeah, it is a good movie. So I just wonder what they consider the best driving. Probably Ford versus Ferrari. Have you seen
Well,
that?
that is such a good movie.
It really
That
is.
is one of those movies where, much like Social Network,
And I didn't
was
know
like,
anything
how are
about
they going to do a movie about
Well,
that?
did you know anything about the backstory?
Not really,
I didn't.
no.
Yeah.
I'm not a big car guy, so it was all new to me. But
Yeah, that Tour de France or whatever it is. No, what is it? What is the Le Mans?
the 24 Hours of Le Mans
Yeah.
down at Daytona.
I think that was a big deal back in the day, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, for car people, it's still a big deal, I'm sure, but it's not. I'm just not a big car guy. But yeah, I think I was blown away by that movie. I didn't know how they could do a whole movie on the founding of Facebook. That was fantastic.
I did like Social Network better than Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh, I
but
would agree.
I think both
Well,
are
Ford
A
versus
movies.
Ferrari is really
Oh,
good.
Yeah, I've seen it multiple times.
Yeah,
Social Network is a guilty pleasure for me, though. I love it.
that's a good flick. I'll give you another one. What was the other? Oh, The Current War. Like, I didn't know how they could do a whole movie on that. I didn't love it.
What's it called?
The Current War, the one where they're fighting for the electricity, Edison
And Tesla?
yeah, Tesla.
I didn't
you
see
seen
it.
that? You've not seen it? That was one of those. I was like, how could they do a whole movie on that? And I tried to watch the movie. And I didn't love it. I didn't love it.
Yeah, the only, what was Tesla kind of a magician?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. I think he was. Steven says it's easy to forget this, but Joe Rogan was also in news radio.
I swear to God, I was about to say that, but I thought I was about to say, do you ever get Joe Rogan confused with the guy that also was in The Hangover, who ran the chapel? He's like, oh, it breaks my heart. You remember he's the guy that was like, you crazy mother.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I
The
know
guy
who
that runs
is,
the
but-
chapel?
Yeah.
I get him confused with Joe Rogan back then.
All right, Scott's
man,
coming
good to see
in.
you,
He's
buddy.
going to give you his microphone.
Well,
Yeah, he's got to go. All right, so
right now.
yeah, we're live. Yeah, don't worry about it. Though. We are as laid back
This
as
is
it gets.
all you.
Yeah.
Here you go. I'm going to get out just for you.
He's got to go to the airport, so you're going to finish the
I
show
am
with him.
fascinated. He's going to ask you about your Vegas story.
Oh,
2016.
All right, Indy Grand Prix of Alabama Medical Properties Trust, Children's Indy Grand Prix of Alabama, powered by AmFirst. Scott McLaughlin's going to be in the race. We're going to talk to him about it. But you can also come out to walk-ons in Trussville. Scan this QR code. Any walk-ons, in fact, scan the QR code. 10% of your order goes back to Children's of Alabama. I'm Ryan.
Hey, Ron. Hey,
Pleasure to meet you,
Scott.
Scott. How are you?
nice to
Welcome
meet
to
you.
Birmingham.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's that's a wild card walking into a live broadcast, but I love that.
Not a big
That's
deal.
awesome. No, but excited
Not a
to
big
be.
deal. You do a lot more difficult stuff than
Yeah, I
that.
know. It's a cool, it's a cool area. Like walk-ons, awesome new restaurant here, and cool to be here. We've had some really good success. 2 times. We've won at Birmingham the last couple of years,
Right.
so we're going for a 3-peat this year. So excited for it.
Why are you good on that track?
I don't know. I just like it. That's enjoy. I'm a big golfer, so they call it the Augusta of motorsports.
That's right,
It's a
they do.
beautiful part of the world, and that just really suits me. So it works out pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a big golfer too. I love the
yeah,
game.
yeah.
I love
What's your
playing.
handicap?
Currently, right now, I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's compare
all
handicaps.
right, let's compare handicaps. Who do you think's who's got the lower handicap? You think?
I don't know, dude. I feel like you could hit it a mile.
Oh, I don't know. I'm an old man.
Yeah. I'll go with me.
You're gonna go. You got the lower handicap?
Yeah. What are you?
I'm 4.7.
No, you are lower than
What
me.
do you
I'm
got?
6.2.
6.2.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can play to a 4.7 if I had to. But that's what it says.
Yeah. No.
What's the best course you've ever played?
I'm very lucky I played Augusta.
Played Augusta now.
Yeah,
So you dog. How did you get on Augusta?
A friend of mine's a member there, and I'm actually a sponsor of mine. So I thankfully have got on there. Played the 18 and then the par 3 course as well. And
did you stay in one of the cabins?
Stayed in one of the cabins that night and had dinner there. It was amazing.
So here's a story I've been told by a friend of mine that played there. He's in they do the whole deal. They stay in the cabin. They eat in the clubhouse the night before.
Yep.
And he says, they brought us a bottle of wine. We're having wine. And he says, the server comes up and he goes, what will you be having, sir? And he goes, you know what? I am so sorry. I've been talking. I haven't had a chance to look at the menu. He's like, there's no menu. What are you having?
No, legit. Yeah.
Is that legit the way it is?
So breakfast is literally, you can have whatever you want. It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
That's insane.
It's an amazing place. It's just, what's really cool is that there is just as you know, the history is incredible, and just thinking about the shots that were taken at different spots, and it was incredible. And then the Cook Titan last time we played, the Finau was hitting behind us, and seeing him play from the Masters tees, it was incredible. It was incredible.
Because you're playing for the members tees.
Members tees, and
which is a different course.
Yeah. Oh, it 100%. It's so long, the Masters tees. It's crazy. So no, I count myself very lucky. That's the bucket list. Played at Brickyard at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Looks like a cool course.
Really cool place.
Design,
really cool place, and really well presented. Really nice. I play there a lot when we go to Indy, and we basically live there. So I go out after practice every night almost and go play 9 holes, and it's a lot of fun. I love golf.
And they've got the loop that goes inside. It's a 3-hole loop inside the track, right?
Yeah, inside the so you got a par 3, a par 4, and then a shorter par 4 as well.
So give me one on your list you have not played that you definitely want to play. I mean, once you played Augusta, you've checked a big one off.
I've heard a lot of good things about Kiowa.
Ocean course? I played it. It's incredible.
Really? That and Torrey Pines would be pretty cool.
Torrey Pines, I've never played it.
Yeah.
Ocean course at Kiowa.
Yeah,
so
I've heard really cool things.
You play the first 4 holes, and then 5's a par 3. You turn out to the ocean, and it's a different world.
Yeah, and my wife, she's from New York, and Bethpage Black.
My brother has played that one. I've never played it.
Yeah, I heard it's you got to walk it, and it's a crazy walk.
It's extremely difficult.
I went out there for the PGA Championship when Koepka won a few years ago, and that was it was cool to see. It was literally after Tiger won the Masters that year, and following him around the crowd was incredible. It was actually before I was living here. So
I've got the Ryder Cups there this year. I've got tickets.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
through the lottery or just
a friend of mine got in the lottery.
Wow, yeah.
And offered me one of the tickets.
My friend didn't offer me a ticket. So I'm still working. Nah, it's all right. It's that'd be a cool experience. Really cool experience.
Yeah, the Ryder Cup's pretty awesome.
I've
been to
team golf.
Yeah, I've been to the Masters. I've been to U.S. Opens, but going to a Ryder Cup, that's like once in a lifetime.
Yeah, that and just the band between the two teams. And I went to President's Cup was at Quail Hollow a few years ago, and that was cool to go watch. And obviously, I was on the international side, but I'm working my way in. I'm trying to be a U.S. citizen right now, so I'm going through all the processes as we speak.
How long does that take?
Depends. I think I've been going through the green card process, but I think probably 8 or 9 months.
Yeah, so you'll be a dual citizen. You'll still have your
New Zealand passport.
Your New Zealand passport.
Yep, and then I'll be now U.S. citizen, U.S. passport holder.
So why was that important to you?
Well, I had a baby girl about 6 months ago.
Congrats.
So thank you, and I don't really see us leaving America anytime soon, and I feel pretty privileged to be here, and I just wanted to be a citizen. I really did. I just wanted to be here, and really I didn't want to go through the visa process every 10 years again for a green card. Right. And I was like, what's the point? I might as well be able to vote and do everything, and I thought that was a good thing.
How difficult is the process? Like I've heard it's time consuming. It can be difficult.
So the biggest thing is you have an interview, and you got to. So for me, I had to. We had to get an interview, myself and my wife, and prove our marriage is legit and all that stuff. And then you have like 10 questions, and they give you 100 questions that you might be tested on. They test you on 10, and you'll get 6 right. Basically, and that's how you pass the test.
Can you remember the questions? Like, what kind of questions?
It was a lot of that you learn in social studies here. Like, who was the first president of the United States?
George Washington.
Yeah. So when was the Constitution written?
When was it written?
Yeah.
1789?
1787. So there's so many.
1787.
So
I'm
you know
a
what I mean?
citizen and I'm
But I had a lot of friends that were like that. They're American citizens, but the test was like stuff that you take kind of for granted. It's kind of crazy to think about, but yeah, I learned a lot about American history the last 3-4 months.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, that's really cool.
Which I really like it. I think that's really cool from a country perspective that they make you learn about the history of the country and like what's happened. And,
well, I think it's important. Number one, to know that, but I also think it's important, in my opinion, to have a healthy respect for our United States veterans who fought for all that. I think that's the.
The question was when was Eisenhower a general? What war was he a general in? And it was World War II.
Right.
But and then there's stuff just learning about how the cabinets work and who takes over when the vice president potentially.
That's insanity. The vast majority of Americans wouldn't even know the answer to that, and you have to become an American. Which I mean, in a sense, I want it to be thorough, not necessarily difficult, but thorough.
Yeah, and I think it's important to a point, but there's obviously a lot of questions that they don't ask. And then if you have a good interview, or a lady that we had was really nice, and she pretty much knew that we were legit from the jump. It was nice. Yeah.
This is Scott McLaughlin, Team Penske. He will be racing IndyAlabama.com to get tickets. IndyAlabama.com. They're at the Barber Motorsports Park. All right, so the Vegas story. We were looking at your Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
You met your wife by chance in Vegas.
Yes. Well, through friends.
Right.
So it was a bit of we were both playing the third wheel in some ways, and we just hit it off. Great friends from the start, and I spent 4 days with her, and my mate felt like a sheet of glass. That's how he describes it. He's never felt like a sheet of glass before, but he was. And I left Vegas. I was like, I've got to see this girl again, and I wanted her to come out to Australia. It was around November 2016. I wanted her to come to Australia, and her mum and dad wouldn't let her come out. So I was like, all right, well, I'll come over for Christmas. So I flew out for Christmas that year.
She was in Long Island, right?
Yeah, Long Island Italian family. There's about 25 family members. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. It was crazy.
Oh, so a legit Italian family.
Oh yeah, and I've come from a very small family, and it was a hard case, man. It was cool, and she obviously headed off with her family. She came out to Australia, and 5 months later, she was living with me in Australia. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah.
So did she cook Italian well?
Oh yeah, she cooks very well.
Freaking love Italian food, don't you?
Her mum's incredible cook as well.
Man.
So I'm actually after this, I'm heading straight to LaGuardia tomorrow, back to New York. My wife and daughter are up there already, and we have Easter up there with the family and stuff like that. So it'll be cool.
What's your best Italian dish? What's your favorite Italian dish?
It sounds basic, but I love chicken parm. I just,
You like it smashed like super thin,
and a little bit crispy edges, and then just a ton of cheese. I just love that. Yeah.
So here's what's crazy. I've got a friend that lived in Sicily for a while.
Oh yeah.
And I never liked eggplant parmesan.
Oh yeah, I was the same. Yeah.
I never liked it, but apparently there's a way they do it in Sicily that is totally different than the way most Italians do it.
It's so funny because I don't know the process, but her family's from some of them are from Sicily, and the eggplant parm is
it's totally
unreal.
Different.
Yeah, it tastes really good. It is like a lasagna.
It's like a lasagna, right? But it just tastes different than normal eggplant parm.
It's so bad for you though.
But I
can't have too much because I won't fit in the restaurant.
Yeah, that is small. I mean,
it's tiny.
They're smaller than you would think.
Yeah, we have a weight limit of 185. Every driver is. So if you're 120, you get weight up to 185. If you're 200, you're giving yourself, a handicap. You always get. I'm around that 175, 185 marker all the time. So
yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so the race is coming up.
Yep.
And it's going for the three-peat, which I guess has never been done at this track.
I'm not sure. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. So I know people have won here 3 times, but not in a row.
Not in a row.
I'm happy to make some history.
Do you remember the first time you saw the track?
Yes, I was one of my first IndyCar tests. About end of 2020, start of 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful place. It's so cool, so fast flowing over the hill. And then the coolest thing about there is like people come out and camp. It's like a big family orientated race, and like Buc-ee's is just down the road, so it's a big deal as well. So,
but you had to Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
Oh man,
when I first walked in there, my eyes
give me.
Oh my God.
I mean, that is. It's
incredible.
like here's the crazy thing about Buc-ee's is like there are 8 million people, but there's never a line to pay.
Yeah, no.
You notice that? Like you get right through.
Yeah, no, it's well like.
So well run.
Yeah, and then when they say brisket on the board,
Brisket on the board,
stuff, it's
that's actually really good brisket. Like I love barbecue.
Yeah,
and you would not think a service station or whatever you would call Buc-ee's, I don't know what it qualifies as a gas station. Would have that great brisket. They do.
But like so the people that camp there go to Buc-ee's and they get basically everything for the camp. For the camping that weekend, and then you've got all the stuff at the track. I mean, I think Walk-Ons is doing like a massive, thing out there, and that's pretty cool. And it's always a good vibe. So I encourage everyone, if they do come to this race, like to camp, it's a cool time. But if not, you're not far from Birmingham.
But you had to think like Alabama. They got a track.
Initially, I was like, and I knew about Talladega, and then obviously Alabama school, and then a little bit more about it, how we're a little bit further away from Tuscaloosa and all that stuff, but. I'm a keen sports. I love sport, so a lot of those things I'm ticking off. Like, but Alabama was always a state where I was interested in because of the history of the football team, and then just what's going on at Talladega for NASCAR, and then now obviously IndyCar with Barber, and then the museum that they got out there is really cool too.
Oh, the Barber Museum is incredible.
It's incredible.
Yeah, that collection's insane.
Nuts.
It's so different though. Like obviously growing up here, I've been to both. I've been to Talladega and I've been to Barber's. I mean, it's two totally different vibes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
You would love Dega.
Yeah.
I've
heard a lot of. I'm quite good friends with Ryan Blaney, and he tells me all the time that I should go out there. And he's won it a couple of times, but I haven't braved the Boulevard yet.
Yeah, you gotta let her give you a tour. It's a different world, man.
Yeah,
It really is a different world.
It'd be cool to go out there one day for sure.
Yeah. All right, so I told Lance, who took his mic, I was going to ask you about the dogs. He's a big dog guy. And you want to know what kind of dogs you have?
Yeah, so I got a golden retriever, just a brand new golden, 2 years old, and Chase, who he came from Australia with us. He's a Cavapoo, smaller, doesn't shed, so he's complete opposite to Luna, who's our new pup. So but I love dogs, man. It's been great. And,
one of our audience wants us to ask you the animal in New Zealand or Australia you're afraid of.
Snake. Yeah, like
that's true here too. Though.
I hate snakes, man.
What's the most prominent one there?
The brown snake. Normally that's probably the most venomous one. I think that's one of the most venomous ones in the world. But it's funny. Everyone goes, "Oh, you would have seen a heap of snakes and spiders when you lived in Australia," but I never really did. I actually never. We lived in the city, and you don't see it too much. But it's not as bad as Australia's not as bad as what looks on like National Geographic or anything like that. So yeah,
because I think most people like. I was making fun of what you thought of Alabama.
Yeah.
When I think of Australia, I think of a city on the coast,
yes.
and nothing in between,
and snakes everywhere, and spiders everywhere. Or if you dip your toe in, you're gonna get bitten by a shark. Yeah. It's like no, it's not like that, but it's like, it is. I think 75% of people live on the coast of Australia, and then you've got the outback, which I've driven through before. It is the outback. It's crazy. Like, there's camels out there. There's snakes, spiders, or whatever you want to think about is out there. So.
What's a haul to get back there though? I mean, that's like a 24-hour flight, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. So from door to door, from like if we go to New York and fly out of there, it's probably 36 hours. Yeah, like door to door. So
man, you got to be fully committed.
Oh, you do. Right? But a couple movies, sleep a little bit. Yeah. Like it's not too bad. But I guess I'm used to it more than most. But it's a long time on a plane for sure. But once you're there, it's worth it. And if I said to anyone, like if you go to Australia, you have to go to New Zealand as well. You're that far down there. New Zealand's a beautiful place. That's originally where I'm from.
Right.
And it's a great part of the world.
So before you became an American sports fan, I mean, you assume because the All Blacks in New Zealand and the rugby team is perhaps the best in the world, right? They lost the World Cup, which was pretty heartbreaking last time. But they're the only team that's won, I think, 2 or 3 rugby World Cups. But like that's a religion in New Zealand, like rugby, and I know it's getting bigger over here, the USA rugby team and stuff. But the All Blacks is something that you grow up watching, and like Ryan Fox, who plays on the PGA Tour, left-handed golfer,
and he pounds the ball. But his dad was Grant Fox, and he was super.
Oh, seriously, I didn't know that.
No, he's he was one of the most famous captains
Right.
in All Black history. So
Wow.
it's a huge sporting nation. Like we got 4 or 5 million people, and like we had 20 medals, 20 gold medals at the Olympics. Like I feel like we always punch above our weight quite per capita, right? If you think about 20 gold medals at the Olympics compared to like America or China or per capita, like the amount of people, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Kinda
It is when you think about that.
Yeah, very proud sporting nation, that's for sure.
Yeah, I would imagine. Man, it's been a pleasure getting to talk
Yeah,
to you.
no worries.
It's nice
Absolutely. Thanks
meeting
for
you.
having me.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
Yeah, that's all.
I know you really don't need it. I mean, you
We'll
dominate
see.
this joint.
We'll see. You gonna come to the race?
I'm going to do my best to be out
Yeah,
there.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, awesome.
I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, good.
Because really qualifying is massive because the passing out there is kind of tough,
It's
right?
tough. A lot of pit strategy. But it was fun. It's fun sometimes when the strategy's offset and you end up passing a lot of cars, which we had to do last year. So man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that this area has, is basically the center of racing for a couple of weeks, with the race at Talladega and the race at
they're saying that a lot of people that come out from this area come out to the race, and we always have a passionate crowd, so it's awesome. But thanks for having me on.
All right, we're going to wrap up.
Yeah.
You can eat at any walk-on, scan the QR code, 10% back to Children's of Alabama, IndyAlabama.com, IndyAlabama.com for more on the race. Good luck, Scott. Thank you. Nice
Thanks
meeting
very
you.
much.